What's up? It's the Wares.
What's up, Wait and Ware family? I'm Jaquan Ware,
And I'm Asia Ware.
and this is the third episode of No Time for Sex.
Yes. We
Are
three
you ready?
episodes
Are you
in.
ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? So, what's the topic for today?
So today's topic is, do you want marriage? It's a question. So we're posing a question. Is marriage something that you want? Do you want marriage? So I'm going to ask you first. Growing up,
Okay.
was marriage something that you saw for yourself? Was it like a goal? Like, was that a dream of yours, marriage?
100%.
Oh.
100%.
Why?
Growing up, two-parent household. My parents was married, and that's the only thing I knew. That's the only thing I saw, and I just thought that was just the end goal for me.
Okay. So marriage was like always the end result for you.
For sure.
Okay, so I have another question. Did you ever like categorize marriage? Like, you know how sometimes people look at marriage as like, well, this is the thing that like the 40 and older crew does, or this is what the Christians do. Like, did you categorize marriage? Like, what was marriage to you?
I did. I did. I put marriage. Well, I put an age on marriage.
Okay, so you put it in the age bracket.
Yeah, I put an age on marriage,
What
and
age?
I thought you should get married by 35. The earliest probably 27, 28, but like 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. I'm just playing. But now for real, I did put an age on it though, for sure.
Okay, so you just felt like marriage was like that 30, 40 year
Yeah,
old?
like when you done lived your life and did everything you supposed to do, or whatever that mean, then you get married.
And then
Then you settle down. Then
Then
you
he
get married.
turns around and get married at 20, what?
24.
So, okay. Great to know.
That's only Go ahead, keep going. Keep going.
So he categorizes marriage and then turns around and get married at 24.
You right.
That's fine.
You right.
Okay, so quick question. Why? Like, why is it that because it's not just you. Like, that's something that I hear from a lot of my peers. I've always heard, like, why is it that we categorize marriage with age? Like, do we really believe you gotta, like, what is it?
Bruh, I think what I thought was, again, just live out everything you want to do.
Like, live first.
Yeah, be with all the girls you want to be with.
Okay.
And, just go burn yourself out.
Oh.
Go burn yourself out. And then, once you burnt and bored and nothing else to do, go get a wife.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So for me, I didn't necessarily see marriage for my life. Like, I knew what marriage was, but I just didn't see it for me. Because I think not so much of the fact that I just never wanted to be loved or whatever.
Yeah.
I just think with marriage comes priority, and it's just not something that I wanted to prioritize.
Hold on. You talking when you was younger?
Yeah, when I was younger.
This how you thinking when you was younger?
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
For sure.
Keep
like,
going.
I always thought ahead, especially when it comes to like my future. You know, I'm a planner, like,
Yeah.
and God just be hitting me left and right, like, girl, that ain't how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
But I'm a planner, and so like I thought, like, when I thought about adulting, it comes with priority. Like, that's just what I thought adulting was. Like, you have to prioritize something. And to me, I just was
Can
like,
I ask you a question just
what?
real quick?
Yeah.
What age was you?
Thinking
were
this
you?
stuff.
Yeah, like thinking.
Ooh.
I'm just saying from the whole like prioritize and just that mindset. Like, what age was?
I think as early as like probably 5th grade.
No.
5th grade.
No.
I'm telling you, like, I just wanted
No.
I wanted a job. Like, I from 5th.
Prioritize in
Yes.
marriage.
No. I'm saying no. I wasn't thinking about marriage. I'm thinking as an adult, if you get married, you have to prioritize marriage. And as a child, I'm thinking I want to prioritize my future, and like career day was always
5th
coming
grade?
up. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm like
I bet.
5th grade. I'm like, I already know what I want to be. I wanted to be a lawyer. I'm like, I'm going to be super successful. I was like, that was like my thing. Like, the girls around me, in middle school or whatever, you might have a few people, you know, already knowing how their dress was gonna be. You know, fairy tale stuff.
for sure.
Girls like
For
they're
sure.
planning out their weddings.
For sure.
I was planning out like my corporate building, like.
Fifth.
I'm telling you, like, so it just wasn't. But I will say, I did, in a way, I did think like marriage was for super adults.
What super adults?
The age thing, like I thought marriage was for like, you know, 30. When you get when you get older. Like I didn't think, I had no idea I would be 19 dating, thinking, oh yeah, I definitely want him to be my husband. Like I didn't even think that 19, 20-year-olds thought about marriage. Like I didn't think. I thought we were just thinking about our life at the time. Like you were supposed to be thinking about your life.
Elementary school, bro. My whole life, I grew up seeing marriage, so it wasn't.
So hold on. When I was just talking about no. Listen, I got a question though, because when I was just talking about how 5th grade and up, like I'm thinking about my career, because to me, my future was based off of a career.
Okay.
But you were in 5th grade, 6th grade thinking about marriage. Like, it's crazy that I'm thinking about career and you thinking about marriage.
Okay. I grew up with a married couple in my house. Okay. So that's all I saw. Okay. So, of course, that's easy for me to get that mindset.
And I grew up around people who just, you know, we lacked. So it's easy for me to always think about money and career.
My bad.
Okay, thank you.
My bad.
I had to clear the air, y'all, because he made me like, hold on. I'm not supposed to be thinking like that.
My bad.
So I have a question today. Not so much today because we're married, but let's kind of put ourselves in our 5 years ago mindset, right?
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
22. I'm talking about 22.
What?
Look, I'm thinking I'm 22 now.
So let's think about like 17, 18, 19-year-olds, right?
23. 22.
Like 21, yeah. So let's think about 17, 18, 19, 21, early 20. We're still in our early 20, guys. We're 25.
20, 21.
But let's think about that. Like our peers, everything we saw on social media, it was kind of like an era of like, kind of like marriage was on like a hate train. Like,
for sure.
I mean, like marriage just had this, I think now we're growing into a space where marriage is becoming a little bit more cultural on social media. But in this era, it was more so like almost weird if you sitting here talking about marriage or glamorizing marriage because everybody's living this sinful, fast life, right?
Yeah.
And so we used to have this conversation, Jaquan and I, we would have this conversation how it seemed like nobody wanted to get married.
Yes.
And
I remember that.
And it was just kind of like, okay, here we are waiting and marriage is our end goal. And like everybody around us is, they don't understand why we're waiting because they don't even understand marriage. Why? Like, what do you think that was? Like, what do you think that, and I'm asking you guys too. I really want to hear from y'all so that we can talk about it more in the comments. I really want to know, what do you think that is? Like, why don't people value marriage? Like, what are they afraid of, or what do you think they're hiding?
Why don't people value marriage?
Yeah.
Man, I think some people don't they didn't see marriage growing up. That's why like I think they don't value marriage. Okay. Being married. I think it's just that simple. I really do. Because if somebody have seen, just like me, a successful marriage, it's easy for me to
want it.
Yeah, want in. But if somebody have seen divorce, somebody have lived in a one-parent household, somebody have never seen their dad or mom, marriage not even a thought in my mind. I ain't trying to get married for what? What matter of fact, what is marriage?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What's the benefit of it?
Yeah, I never saw it. What is it?
Okay.
What is it?
Why is it so important?
Exactly.
Okay. I can understand that 100% because I've had conversation with people, females in particular, and they don't understand marriage because, like you just said, like either never seeing a successful marriage or seeing relationships, quote unquote, thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And these people have been together for 10 years.
Yeah.
Never seen a proposal, never seen a wedding, these type of things. And though on the outside we don't know what they are going through, it looks like the life.
Yeah.
What's the point of marriage?
For sure. And
so I agree. But for me, I believe, and I always say this and I stand by it, and y'all can come for me in the comments. But I always say, like, there's not a woman alive that can truly and honestly, and I mean like, and be so honest about it and say like, I don't want to get married because I don't want to get married. Like, I just don't believe it.
Nobody. I mean, no woman.
No.
At all.
I just don't. I think that every woman desires to be all of the things that marriage does. The covenant, the protection, the love, the trust, just having that partner, this union. I think every woman desires that. Yes.
Is that a fear coming from like a woman? Is that some type of fear, or is that something that they got to just let everybody know because they afraid they won't get a husband? You get what I'm saying?
And I would say yeah, because I think I do. I think it's all rooted in. I think it's rooted in fear and or ignorance, and not just saying how cultural sees ignorance, but I'm saying just like a simple lack of not knowing. Like, you don't know God enough to even know or respect marriage, so you're ignorant in that aspect, or fear, as in like, I don't really truly see it for myself, so I'm not gonna be out here looking foolish or sounding foolish by saying like, yeah, I'm getting married, and then low key, I ain't even had a boyfriend, or, I feel kind of like nobody wants me.
What? Okay. What do you have to go through, though, to just simply say, I'm not looking for a man, I don't want to be married? Like, because that was a seed planted. So I just want to know, like, what got you to that point? Like, why are you saying that so comfortably?
It could be a lot of things.
Can you give me, from a woman's perspective, give me give me 3. No, give me 2. Top 2.
Okay.
Why they say that?
So I'm gonna think really hard based off the conversations I've had. One, you've gotten your heart broken. I mean, like, that's just probably the simplest thing.
For sure.
You've gotten your heart broken by a man. So like, you have this, you harbor on those feelings of, a man has once hurt me. How can I ever trust a man? Yeah. And that's that whole like, all men are the same, and baggage is everywhere. That's that. The second one is, I think, how people say, and I'm tying it back to faith, because that's what it is. Like, I mean, essentially that is what it is. And I think if you do not fully dive into your faith or understanding God, then you won't understand marriage. You won't. Yeah. Because if you're in the world, what is the point of marriage? Let's be honest. So I think the second one I would say is, how there's those people who have experienced, a bad church, right? Okay. And so with that bad church, they're like, the church is a crook. Okay. And then now they don't even want to go to any church, right? And so I look at it as like, they've experienced God. They know the importance of marriage because they've seen it, but then they see a fault in faith. And then they want that to they take that along in everything connected to faith, right? Yeah. So for instance, let's say your dad and your mom were heavily into church. Okay. You went every Sunday. Okay. And then your dad beats your mom. Okay. And they're married. And your great grandmother is telling your mom she has to stay because they don't believe in divorce. Then now you now have that ill connection, not only to domestic violence, but it's like to faith. Yeah. And to marriage. Like, I'm not staying in a situation I don't want to be in because my great grandmother is telling me this is what I have, you know? And so I think it's just that one thing that happens that you tie into everything faith related or everything marriage related. And even in the sense of seeing someone who you thought you could look up to in marriage or in faith and they cheat.
Yeah.
And then it's like, because I hear a lot of people say that one. I hear a lot of people say, well, you can cheat being married and without a ring. So what's the point? Like, that's the thing that everybody says.
What you mean? I'm just playing. But now I understand that though. I understand that. So it's trauma connected to it.
Oh, for sure.
Trauma connected to it, and then it's just like,
just not knowing.
Matter of fact, I ain't even finna give it a try.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want a husband. That's what it is. But deep down inside,
you want it.
Every lady wants a husband.
That's what I believe. I believe that. I 100% believe that. I'm gonna fight about that one. I'm gonna stand on it. I'm gonna stand on that one because I really believe that. I think that every woman just desires that, and I think even when they see it, I think the more we see it being normalized, the more you see another woman being loved and protected and respected by her husband and being covered, and this husband submitting to God, like we can't forget that part. You have to see it for real. Like, not saying they're not gonna have any issues, but you see this woman submitting to this man and this man submitting to God. And when you see it all the way through, I just think every woman is like, man, now that's beautiful. Now, if I could get it like that, oh, for sure, I want it. So I believe that.
So, I remember you was telling me even when you was younger, you never thought about marriage,
right?
And I always told you, I always thought about marriage. So what age did that switch for you to even give marriage a shot? Because you always told me, you said, look, I always wanted to be the smart girl, a lot of money, corporate life, and I'm gone. I'm not even living in Atlanta no more. I might be in Germany somewhere.
That is true.
And I'm be by myself. With your cat. And your cat stink. But that what you always told me though. So
true.
you know what I'm saying?
Like, what happened
in life? What happened? What you saw? What seed been planted in your life? You know what I'm saying? That changed the whole thing. Like, you know what? I want to give marriage a try because you married right now.
That is true.
You know.
You know what? I'm gonna be so honest. I never thought about like what actually happened for me to shift. Like, I know I used to say that, but I if I'm being honest, this may sound cliche, but I think it just had to happen when I started building a relationship with God.
Okay.
And I say that because I'm thinking, okay, high school, I was still the girl saying I didn't want to get married. I'm good on the kids. I want my money. Because I looked at marriage as a priority. Yeah, and I was.
But I wanted kids.
Yeah.
A wife and all that.
Yeah.
So who was you?
A girl living in sin.
Golly.
A girl living in sin.
Who
because
was you?
It's like we were doing things. Let's be clear. We were doing things that, to me, it didn't differentiate us from a person being married.
Yeah.
We were doing those things, and I didn't prioritize you. Like, I loved you.
For sure.
Crazy. I prioritized my career because I didn't have it yet. And I wanted it so bad. Like, I never wanted marriage so bad. I never wanted, like, that wasn't me. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to work. I wanted to work my butt off so that nobody could say they ever gave me a thing. That's what I wanted. And I mean, that stemmed from childhood things and everything, but that's just what I wanted. I wanted to make sure that I worked and nobody could say they gave me a thing. Marriage, to me, it kind of looked like...
Is it?
Yeah, to me, marriage kind of looked like, well, my husband is giving me this thing.
What?
That's how I kind of viewed it. And so I just wanted to make sure that I was that person. And honestly, we were having sex.
Yeah.
I felt like I was treating you good. Even in the way that I could.
For
you
sure.
know? And so when I built a relationship with God and I started really reading his word and going to church, because at this point I'm in college, and y'all have heard this story before, but I just did this thing. Like, I just needed to be cleansed. Because I just felt like I wanted something different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't want that anymore. Like I didn't want to be work anymore. I didn't
For
want
sure.
like I wanted to figure out what my purpose on this earth was.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I stopped doing this and I stopped having sex and I did a lot of things and cleansing. I was single at the time. But these things just helped me kind of connect more with God. And at that moment, I wanted for my life everything God wanted for my life.
Okay.
I no longer wanted anything. Like, y'all see, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't went to Germany.
Tell me.
That's my goal now.
Tell me.
God said, no, you're going to be with that man. And that man ain't going to Germany.
Tell
So,
me.
like, I just started to want everything that God wanted for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was just so hungry for it. And so that's when that shift happened. I started looking to marriage because God started showing up in dreams for me. And you remember I told you the first dream I had, like, and it was so weird, but God had told me everything that he had told me that I would have, because I wasn't just this Lulu little girl that just wanted these things. Sure. I had believed that I was going to have these things, and I also saw it in dreams. Like, I saw that I was this speaker. I was probably like 10 years old. Yeah. I saw that. And I saw all these things. I saw that I was changing lives of people. Like, these are things that I saw, and I had this dream when I was in college. And it was kind of like the 10-year-old dream I had was kind of like this. Mm-hmm. And then the 19-year-old, 20-year-old dream I had, because I don't remember what age I was, but it was kind of like a zoom out.
What it was?
Like, just kind of zoomed out. And this man was standing beside me. And it was kind of like the same exact dream. And in that dream, what I got from it was God was telling me, and I shared this with you before, the promise is still there. Mm-hmm. Everything I said you would do, you will. But I never said you would do it alone. And in that dream, God told me you'll be the female version of your husband. Mm-hmm. And at this time, we weren't even together. We were talking, and I told Jaquan, I was like, because God had said he was going to be my husband. And at this time, I told him, I said, God said you were going to be a coach.
Yeah, and a mentor.
I said, you're going to be a mentor. Yeah. These are things at that time that I was doing.
She been said this.
I was doing this in college. I was going to the elementary and the middle schools every Friday, reading and having events. I was doing all of this. Mm-hmm. You weren't even thinking about that. Mm-mm. And I told him, I said, this is what my dream said. We got into a big argument, child. He like, coaching, that's corny. Like, you like, that ain't you. And I'm like, okay. Like, it was just this whole thing. That's a whole nother conversation.
I'm talking about mentor.
Yeah, it was like I said something disrespectful to him. But we got into it. That was a whole different thing. But yeah, at that, it was that for me. It was really when I built the relationship with God. And I think it sounds silly and it sounds cliche, but when you don't honor marriage, it's just not, I'm not saying that you don't honor God. I'm just saying you don't fully understand God's honoring of marriage. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why we do things that, let's be clear, sex was designed to be enjoyed between a man and a woman who were married.
For sure.
Like we've said it before.
For sure.
And so when we've done things where we were a man and a woman, but we weren't married, and we did that, that's outside of alignment. Mm-hmm. And so if you keep, psychologically, you keep doing these things, of course you're thinking like, well, then what's the point of marriage? Like, what can you do for me that you're not doing right now? Yeah. And I think that's how a lot of people think.
And I just piggyback off that because that's when boundaries, that's when boundaries get involved, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we did. We stopped having sex. Yep. That was a boundary. Yep. And I always say it all the time, Asia never let up off the journey. She never let up. She stood on what she stood on, and I appreciate you again, huh? But
I appreciate you for sticking around.
Another thing, even with stepping out of the alignment God placed on us, like with sex and stuff, it's easier said than done. It's easy to say it, you know what I'm saying? It's not easy to do. But you can do it.
Oh, for sure.
You can do it. And I mean, it ain't easy, but you can do it. You could do it. But another thing, I keep saying but.
No, go ahead.
But I'm just playing. But look, man. So.
And I have a question.
Even with you giving me everything without being married,
Yeah.
it's no sense of even marrying you.
Okay.
So for real, you done show me everything you got, all your tricks, what you treat me like, what you treat me like,
Okay.
how you cook.
Yeah.
You done show me everything. So from a man perspective, it's like, and he don't understand marriage.
Yeah.
It's like, marriage for what?
Yeah.
Then they pull this on you, bro. That's what they be saying. That's
Yeah, it's like the government's
yeah,
way
that's
of,
like,
you
man,
know.
that's
Yeah.
government.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
like,
it ain't.
uh-huh.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gave me everything. You already given me everything I need.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So there's no reason for me to marry you.
I got a question.
I'm sorry. And if a dude tell a girl that for real,
Okay.
a girl will understand and be like, okay. So for my next man,
I ain't giving up nothing.
tell you.
For
But go
sure.
ahead.
I have a question. So, if you were in a situation, and this is advice to the people because you know we get this in our DMs.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten this. You want to be married. You're verbal about it. Like you've said these things. Like this is what you want. Are you going to even
Talking about me?
No, I'm just saying you're this person.
Okay.
And are you going to even be in a relationship with someone who has no desire to be married?
Will I?
Not the old you. I'm saying like
No.
literally, and you're to them who needs this. Like you're in it. You want to be married. You're deciding that you want to wait, but your partner he doesn't even. Back to the question: do you want marriage? Your partner doesn't want marriage. He doesn't even. And so in a sense, that's clearly why he doesn't respect your wait.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to continue that relationship with the person?
Easier said than done. I give it some time.
Okay.
I know at the same time I'm still probably wasting time, but I love you so much. If I love you so much, I give you some time, right? And when it's just time up, and you really showing me you don't want no type of marriage, I mean, you're not showing me nothing different. You're not respecting what I got going on. It come a time where I really just got to cut it off, and it's going to hurt.
I think that it's like the secret to it. I wanted to pull up a question that we got in our DMs because to sum it up, she was basically saying, this is what she desires, right? Her partner, she didn't count him out. She didn't say that this is not what he desires. They obviously just haven't had this conversation, and that's normal. They haven't had the conversation, and so she didn't know because she said, and I read this DM to you, but she said she's been abstaining from sex for about 2 months. You remember this? And her partner and her, they don't live in the same area. Well, he's coming down this weekend.
I remember, yeah.
And she was like, well, he's coming down this weekend. And like, I want to continue my journey of abstaining from sex, but I haven't even told him. And so she's abstaining because she wants marriage and she wants this journey and relationship with God and she wants to honor God, but she doesn't think that he wants the same.
For sure.
And so that's why I asked that, because it's easier said than done. But for her, and that advice for anybody out there in this situation, I want you to give them advice. But I think I'm just gonna say the simplest advice, and I'm gonna let him get into it. You just gotta be honest. Like if you're deciding to wait, you cannot hold out on that information. I'm not saying you're obligated to tell people, but if you're in a relationship,
Can't be a secret.
it can't be a secret. Like you don't have to probably go public like we did. This was an assignment, but you have to tell your partner though. You have to.
Dive in it.
Yeah, I want you to give advice to that person who they've decided this is what I want, but like I don't even know if my partner will understand because my partner doesn't even value marriage.
So, I mean, let's cut straight to it. I think you should, again, go speak to him. And this a message a while back. I remember.
Yeah.
But I think you should just go and talk to him. Be open. Be transparent. And tell them how you feel. Tell them I've been abstaining. I've been growing my relationship with God.
Yeah.
And just tell them how you feel. Just, man, I've been feeling great. I've been feeling great. You coming down. I don't want to disappoint you.
Yeah.
But I'm at a stage in my life where, just like you told me, I really got to choose God before you.
Yeah.
I got to put something before you. And I love you. But I got to put God before you. And it might sound hurtful, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I want to marry you. I hope you know that I want to marry you. I know you probably don't understand marriage right now, but I do want to marry you. Just be clear.
Yeah.
I do want to marry you. And it's time right now just to see if you want to really marry me. Because at the end of it all, it's me and you, or me and you.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. And my job is just to cut the middleman out, which is sex. I know we connect on a sex level, on a sexual level, but right now I'm cutting the middleman out.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna see if you want me for me. It's good for me. It's a good deal. It's a good deal. I don't want to waste your time, but I don't want you to waste my time. But at the end of the day, I love you, but I'm gonna put God first this time.
Cut the middleman out.
Cut the middleman out.
Like, let's be clear. If you tell a person that you're waiting, I mean, that literally cuts the
Straight
middleman out. Like, you
Straight up.
kind of just say, what's the topic of today's conversation? Like, do you want
wanna be
marriage?
married?
Like,
Do you want marriage?
yes and no. Like, it just kind of just takes you to a place where we ain't got to waste each other's time.
Let's cut the middleman out.
I'm waiting until marriage. And if you stick around, I know it's more. Like, I know even if you don't understand, you either want to understand, or if you don't understand, you want God to put it inside of you so that you can understand. Like, it really just cuts the middleman out. You get to see who's there for what.
Easy. Because like I said again, once we cut the middleman out, I saw every flaw you had, right?
That is true.
You saw every flaw I had.
That is true.
And if I can deal with that without the
Sex,
the
the enjoyment.
Yeah, without the pleasure and all that.
Marriage was going to be easy.
Easy. Because we can argue and then next minute, da, 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 da.
And not even trying to say like marriage is just, oh, it was going to be so much easier because of the wait. But I mean, it gets to the point where it's like, if we can survive the wait, then surely we can survive marriage. Like, we're
Easy
only
money.
1 year in marriage, granted. But there's a conversation that people who've been married for 40, 50 years, they can't touch because they have not done what we've done. And so, yes, we've only been married for a year, but we waited. And there's just some things that happened in that wait. There's some conversations that had to be had during that wait that some people may be 50 years into marriage and they still haven't had those type of conversations.
They really still don't even know their partner.
Yeah.
And the only thing they can agree on is sex.
Child.
Give me 5.
Before we go, I want to leave you guys with something because I know that we get this thing in our DMs all the time, and it's like, I love this topic. Do you want marriage?
Yeah.
Because we get this thing in our DMs, and it's like, you know, they waited, now they're married, like their life is just so beautiful, you know. And even the conversation you were having with the young lady yesterday, like it gets tough.
That's my dog
during
too.
the wait and after the wait. Like, it gets tough. And I just want to leave you with this word. My mother-in-law, she taught Bible study a couple of weeks ago. And when she said this, it just kind of hit different because of the season that I'm currently in. But she said, like, not saying that the seeds that you or anybody has sowed previously don't grow in this season. Like, not saying that. We understand you reap what you sow. And there's things that we're reaping now that your parents sowed. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the seeds skip and goes to somebody else. But she said that the sacrifices that you've made in one season, they can't go over into the next season. And she was basically saying, like, in every season you have to have a different sacrifice. And so yes, we waited, and though we are reaping and will forever reap from the wait, that sacrifice doesn't like, it's not the sacrifice of our marriage though. Like in our marriage, we have to have a whole nother sacrifice.
For sure.
And so even when you think of it like, oh, I'm just trying to push past this journey because I'm just ready to see the outside, like there's still going to be another sacrifice. There's going to be another mission, another story. And so you can't really run from the obedience and the sacrificing. Like,
don't run from
and when
it.
she said that, it was just so powerful. Like, wow. And I immediately thought about waiting, and I wanted to mention it on this podcast. Like, even your sacrificial wait is not the sacrifice of this season.
Yeah.
Like, once you get out of that season, like, you're going to have to, you got to be tested again for something else.
Yeah.
I just had to say it. It's for somebody.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really good.
I'm with it for sure. Hey, cut out the middle, man.
Yeah. Do you want marriage?
Do
Yes
you
or
want
no?
marriage?
And answer that in the comments. Let us know. Let us know about the topic we asked you before, but also, do you want marriage and why? Why do you value marriage if you do? And if you don't, why not? We want to hear from you. All right, y'all.
It's Jaquan Ware.
And it's Asia Ware.
And this is the 3rd episode of
No Time for Sex. We are out.
Gone.